Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in for the presentation today. We're going to explore together how to implement an effective BIM workflow. Now, of course, this is a very broad topic. But if we were to boil it down to three essential steps, what would they be from three different perspectives of three different users? This is exactly what we're going to explore today together. I am Carole Dib. I'm an architect and a BIM consultant. I've been working in the construction industry for over 10 years now. And with BIM Collab, I help BIM Collab clients to be able to implement better BIM processes and have smoother workflows. And this is exactly what we're going to discuss today. But for those of you who do not know BIM Collab is a brand created by Kubus, which is a company based in the Netherlands. It's an international company. We have clients all over the world. Today, there are more than 150,000 users, 125 employees, and more than 30 years of experience in this field. And so let's dive right into our topic for today. What are the three roles in a BIM workflow? Like, the agenda is going to be very, very clear and simple. So to be able to discover the different perspectives in a BIM workflow, we're going to see this through the perspectives of three different users: the BIM manager, the team members, like the architects, the engineers, or the BIM modelers, and third but not least, of course, the project managers, who also have a big role. And so it's one unified workflow, but if we try to see it through different perspectives, it would give us maybe a better understanding of how a smoother workflow could be. Starting with the BIM manager. The BIM manager, of course, has the most important role in setting up all the BIM workflow, setting up a BIM strategy, a workflow that works seamlessly for everyone, which tools to use, how to do that. And there's, of course, a lot of challenging things that go with that. Second role is the team member. So team member, of course, many stakeholders. This could be architects, engineers, BIM modelers, but here we're talking really about production. And how can we help these people? How can we help these team members to contribute effectively and be able to complete their work quickly? And then third of all, it's the project manager. The project managers, who of course have a role of decision making. They may not work hands-on with the models or the BIM workflows, but they do have a very important role in managing the projects, analyzing and optimizing results. How could this be done in a single unified BIM workflow as well? Starting with the BIM manager. So to explore the BIM workflow through the lens of the BIM manager, who after all is the one who starts implementing the whole strategy. To understand that a little bit further, let us boil down the three main challenges of a BIM manager. First of all, a BIM manager needs to set up a common BIM strategy with centralized workflow. That's already a big challenge with all the different stakeholders that are reuniting in a construction project. Second of all, of course, we need efficient collaborative and coordination processes. This could take the form of so many different things, like we need a CDE, a centralized CDE, a DMS, like an issue management platform, to be able to have these efficient collaborative processes. And third of all, how can we also ensure continuous model checks to be able to check the quality of the model? And this is oftentimes the role of the BIM manager as well. And how can this be done? Let us take a practical example to be able to do that. So the practical example in the ecosystem of BIM Collab, how can this workflow actually take place? It's very simple because, for example, in the ecosystem of BIM Collab, we have three main modules. The first one of which being BIM Collab Twin, which is the model-centric document management system, which allows you to store all your documents or your files or your models in one central repository. And also, most importantly, it allows you to link documents to the models itself, which makes it a complete solution in that sense. Second of all, there's BIM Collab Nexus. So the second module, which interacts, of course, very closely with BIM Collab Twin and allows you to coordinate with all the other team members, but this time using BCF, issue management, IDS, etc. So you have at your hands a complete BIM collaboration platform. And the third module is BIM Collab Zoom, which is a fast and intuitive model checker. This allows you, and it allows the BIM manager specifically, to be able to check the models, the quality of those models, whether we're talking about geometry or information. So geometry, data, clash detection, IDS, all of these models could be checked. And so with these three modules, BIM Collab Twin, BIM Collab Nexus, BIM Collab Zoom, interacting together in one whole ecosystem, oftentimes a lot of the challenges of a BIM manager and a BIM workflow are solved through setting up very simply these processes. And I'm going to show you how in a quick live demo in a few moments. And so for the BIM manager, let's suppose that this is the first mission, one of the most important missions that he is going to take on, like to be able to check the model and validate the quality of these models. How is that possible? First of all, we can do that using the Smart Views, which is the tool that allows you to color code the elements depending on their IFC parameters. And that allows us to be able to check the availability of the information. Is all the data there? Check if this information is correct or not. So we're giving, through these visuals, we're giving visuals to the information. But that's only one tool, because there are so many different tools in BIM Collab Zoom. For example, the second one of them being able to do clash detection on the spot and follow up these clashes up until they are actually solved. So but not only geometrically speaking, it can also be data speaking, because we can check it. We can check all the IDS requirements to be able to check in the models if data is missing or not, if data is correct or not. So a complete model validation check, which means that on the side of the BIM manager, it's very simple. For example, let's imagine that he or she is working on BIM Collab Zoom. Through these validation checks, they find an issue. They can report this issue to be able to centralize it. So you can add information related, data related to this issue, related to the title, assigned to someone, what is the phase, the type of this issue, and then eventually you can centralize it on Nexus for everyone to see and for all the stakeholders to be able to collaborate together. So this is like the first perspective of the BIM manager looking into a BIM workflow. But this is exactly when the team member may be able to also join in the conversation, and we can see what's going to happen there. Because the team members, architects, engineers, BIM modelers, let's say that the BIM manager just sent us as team members elements that should be adjusted in the 3D model. What can we do then? So to be able to see that live in action, I'm going to switch to BIM Collab Zoom to show you what it could really be like. So we said that the BIM manager will be able to check the model. It can be as simple as running a smart view. So that's a quick visual check to be able to see which elements have a fire security parameter and which elements do not have that. Actually, it's as simple as creating a very simple rule that allows us to see if the fire rating element is defined or not. And then I know that for all the green elements, fire rating is defined, for example. And so let's say that I am checking another smart view where I want to check all the load-bearing slabs that appear in blue. I can do that automatically through the smart views. And when I'm checking, I realize that one of these slabs actually needs to have a different thickness. And so what the BIM manager does, for example, he will create an issue right away saying that, for example, the thickness of the slab needs to be adjusted, leaving a comment. Could you please, for example, check the thickness of the slab, assign it to the person who may be able to take it in charge, like Anne, for example, what is the milestone for this issue, etc. So all these information, I'm actually filling up data that I'm going to be able to use later on to enrich the information related to my project. Once that's done, it's actually very easy to check it because now it's centralized in Nexus. So if we change our hats and go back to being a team member, let's say that I'm an architect working in Revit, and I want to receive this notification and act on the spot. It's going to be very easy for me to do so because I'll be able to use a BCF manager, which is a plugin that can be installed right away into Revit. And this is where, by just syncing all the information, I'm going to get the new slab that has just been communicated to me by the BIM manager, which means that I can locate the issue in one click, pretty much, just as you saw it. I'd be able to do the changes of the thickness right away in my own modeling tool. And then I'll say, okay, I solved it. I changed the thickness to X. I leave a comment here. I would even change the status of the issue to say that it has been solved. And then once it's synced, all this information once again will be synced to Nexus, which means that all the information is centralized everywhere. As a matter of fact, if we see it in the web viewer, you'll be able to check the information there as well. So to recap, depending on your role, whether you are a BIM manager, a team member, or even a project leader, as we will see in a few moments, you will have the possibility to check these requirements, check issues, comment on issues from the place that you prefer, whether it be it your own favorite modeling tool, whether it be it Nexus directly on the cloud by using like your email and your password. You can just sign in directly without needing to install any software whatsoever, or directly from BIM Collab Zoom as well. So everyone is coordinating from different places, but all the information is centralized in one central place. As a matter of fact, to conclude this, you can see that this issue is right here as well. This is the issue that has been created by the BIM manager that has been solved. As we can see here, it is now resolved because Carole saved it and changed the thickness in Revit. So once again, you also have traceable results, which means that I can see what has been created, when, what was the initial comment, what happened later on. So all the history of an issue is there for you to check. And for the web viewer, which is like a 3D viewer, which is very intuitive and fast because it's based on streaming technology, it would allow anyone to be able to check the model in a very easy way, even people who are non-BIM experts or the clients or anyone really who would want to check the models on the fly on a tablet somewhere to be able to check comments and see the progress of the project. So this has allowed us to be able to see live in action how this change could be done. So I'm going to go back to the presentation to be able to check that. Here, for example, to recap what we just saw, a team member can check all the issues directly in the web viewer. Another team member can locate the issue in one click in their own favorite modeling tool. That could be Revit, AutoCAD, Tekla, any other modeling tool that they're using. And then we would have traceable results, which means that the issue would be solved and centralized on Nexus for all the stakeholders to be able to check that. Moving on to the third and final role, which is the project manager. Now, of course, the project manager obviously plays a central role in any BIM workflow, but in their case, maybe they wouldn't be very interested in the models themselves or in the really tiny details of a project, but they really need stats and metrics to be able to check all the information and all the progress that's happening on a particular project. How can they do that? So how can the project manager really check all these metrics and these dashboards? This can be very easily done through BIM Collab Nexus, because all the information will be centralized. All the data that we've been filling up, whether it's the BIM manager or the team members, this data is now something that we're going to be able to use directly on BIM Collab Nexus. You have automatic dashboards, as you can see here, that will appear on the screen with the issues per zone, per status, per team member, and all the information appear here right away. But even more than that, a project manager can check the progress of not only one project at a time, but multiple projects, which means that they can check all the projects here and see what is happening to be able to manage different projects all at once. All of these dashboards are automatic as well and change in real time, depending on the information provided by all the team members. But in case that's not enough, and in case you work today with Power BI, which is, of course, the tool from Microsoft to be able to create very complex dashboards for your data, well, that's possible because we have a live integration with Power BI that allows you to create these dashboards out of this live data. So instead of using obsolete information from Excel files, you can actually do this right away through the integration of BIM Collab Nexus and Power BI. You'll have all the dashboards that change live whenever issues or changes are done in the BIM Collab project. But that's not only everything, because this live integration with Power BI isn't only linked to issues, it's also linked to models through BIM Collab Zoom. So if you have data that you need to extract from your models, like slabs, walls, or anything related to that, elements, 3D models, it's possible to do that as well directly through the integration with BIM Collab Zoom as well. As you can see, these are example dashboards that you see on your screen. So in summary, the BIM manager would allow us to build a strong base, build a strong BIM base, implement it through centralized communication on BIM Collab Nexus, model validation with BIM Collab Zoom. So the BIM manager can set up a strong base for a BIM workflow. And then the team members can easily produce at that point. They can check the issues on the web viewer online, anytime, anywhere. They can solve the issues right in their modeling tools, whether that be Revit, ArchiCAD, Tekla, anything. It's a very easy collaboration depending on the different points of view of stakeholders. And third of all, of course, the project manager will be able to take better decisions, faster decisions, because they can supervise multiple projects at the same time on BIM Collab Nexus, but also they can create complex dashboards to follow up the progress of the project through the Power BI integration with our ecosystem. So I invite you today, in case you're interested, to start better collaboration, to be able to implement better BIM processes. Even maybe you even have very good BIM processes going on, but you really need to optimize them going forward. Then I would invite you to visit our virtual booth. So the virtual booth of BIM Collab will be waiting there for you. Or if it's easier for you, you could also schedule a call right away with us by scanning this QR code, and then you'll be able to schedule a call and have a 1-hour meeting customized to be able to see what could be missing for your own BIM workflow. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you at the booth.